in Japan, and so many people just trying to play little games on their phone. That's the big money stuff. All those people buying there.
Makes
that
sense.
blew my mind. I went, so they've all gone from going, no, we don't want to make a, there's a lot of kids out there trying to make little Pac-Mans and stuff. Hey, let's nerd out on some podcast gear then.
Okay.
How do you record them, edit them? Have you
found that
to be a chore yet or anything?
I'm just looking around and thinking that you're a professional podcaster. You've got a whole studio and the whole setup here, and there's lights and things going on. All I do is plug 2 microphones into my laptop and I record into GarageBand on my Apple Mac. Okay. I outsource to an audio editor in the Philippines, and then I do everything else. So I outsource to get my website set up. And that's linked, as you know, you can upload and it just goes out to all the podcasting platforms, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all those kind of things. I write all my own show notes, do all my own social media, or my gorgeous fiance helps me with all the social media side of things. And what I'm about to invest into now is some authentic marketing as well, because what I know, my vision to make this product as valuable as possible is also on the side of that is I want to grow a community of impactors. And the reason I want to do that is so we can help teach people the skills like what we've discussed in this chat around making themselves the best version of themselves and increasing that community. And obviously community is a big value of mine because it comes back to my grandparents and the Cobar community and wanting to enhance and optimize that side of it. But social media is really powerful in creating a community. It's not like I'm trying to get as many likes as I can, as many followers. It's more around people who are actually engaged and learning from our content. That's what it's all about. And that's the ripple effect in itself. So the social media and the marketing side of things is really powerful. I don't know much about marketing. To be honest, I don't really care to invest my time into that. I want to do the things that I'm already really good at, and I want to expand on that. So I'll outsource to help people market it, to get it into as many ears as possible, because I believe in the podcast as a product, that it is making a difference and it will make a difference because of the people that I'm interviewing on there. So the marketing that I'll outsource should hopefully help there. But yeah, 2 ATR 2100 microphones plugged into the old Apple Mac. And
can you break that down for me? How do you plug it? Because I've got an interface. Do you have an interface before the Mac?
No interface, no. It just literally plugs in USB cords, plug into the side of the Apple Mac, and I got the ATR 2100s because they came highly recommended in an affordable price range. They're an 8 out of 10 sound quality, and it works a treat. So I'm even going to downsize soon to the H6 Zoom instead of carrying around the laptop everywhere. I'll just record straight into that because it's more portable.
I've got the H1 around here somewhere.
Yeah, okay, so it's a bit of evolution from that into the old H6.
Yeah,
apparently
H6
the sound quality, really good.
Best.
And that, to me, that's why I respect what you're doing here. We're speaking through pop filters here, and you've got it on the boom arm, the microphone, so it's right into it. We've even got the headphones on so we can sound very crisp, and I really like that. And sound quality, that's all the podcast is. It's audio. So I'm sure that if we started this chat an hour or however long ago it was, and the sound quality wasn't great, people would tune out. And to be honest, that's what I did with podcasts, because I said I've been addicted for the last 2 years. When I lived in Sydney, I would get around on a scooter, 150cc scooter, and just commute everywhere on that. And I had my headphones plugged in listening to podcasts. So if sound quality was poor, I couldn't listen to your show. So boom, you're out of my zone already.
It's funny, you try and listen, but your brain trails off. I just can't, And my last episode, we had some problems again. I've only probably had 4 problems, like audio things. I couldn't believe it. I released it, but I'll have to re-edit it or something tonight. It's driving me batty because I know. Yeah, well, you're a muso. You're in the industry, so you know. Oh, but even less. It's not even. It's just brain tricks, as I've said before. You either can listen or you can't. It's simple as that. Like, it's either sounds like a conversation you're listening in on. Well, I challenge you to think of it as a deeper level and think about it like this. Everything that we do to get is, as human beings, we're energy, right? And you want to change people's energetic state. So that's what you're doing to inspire people. You're changing their energetic state. So through sound quality, if it's poor sound quality, they're going to have a poor energetic state and a poor experience. So that's why they tune out. If it's good sound quality, they're going to have a good energetic state and a good experience. And that's why when you listen to my podcast, it starts with some upbeat music, because my goal is people plug in, I want to change their energetic state straight away. Let's get excited. Let's get this energy, because what that actually does at a physiological level, you open up your mind, and when you start listening
with an open mind, that's when you can retain information, and that's when you can actually do something with it. It's not about just listen and then listen to the next one, listen to the next one. Change your energetic state, open up your mind, retain the information, take action, make change.
Yeah. You know, you remind me of the gig I did last night. It's a completely different thing. It's just we're both singers. So Shanae and myself, we're playing to a backing tracks like karaoke. And I just said to her a few weeks ago, I said, look, they've booked us a duo. We don't have a duo act. We're normally a 5-piece band. I said, let's do something completely different. Let's just do, it's basically restaurant music, but let's just entertain ourselves. Let's not do songs that we think people might dance to. Let's entertain ourselves, right? And it's on the same thing as what you're just speaking about. So Shanae, the great singer, jazz, blah, blah, blah. I did nothing but Sunday, Monday, happy days, like theme songs to great shows. Like she would sing a song, then mine was pretty much all, a good 50% of them were the intros to all the great shows. And the crowd love it for the same reason. Your brain goes to like, oh yeah. You know at the start of a great podcast that you love, when that music starts, you get into that gear. Because I know 2 podcasts I listen to from comedians, they go straight into speaking. And I just can't stick with it. I don't get motivated at all because they're like, yeah, well, it's here we are. It's Doug Stanhope, for instance, a great comedian. And I just can't listen to it. It doesn't give me that, here's the theme. Here it is. Boom, it's a real show,
People respond to that.
Yeah, because we're monkeys. We're funny.
No, we're energetic beings. That's what it is.
Right. Just like monkeys.
Yes, the monkeys are energetic beings.
Anyway, yeah, so, okay, so miking out. Because have you had any poor recorded ones yet? That'll break your heart because it'll be...
No, I've had a couple of issues with my, I think it's my computer, and there's a little bit of sound. The volume is a lot lower on one side than the other, so I always put the guest with one microphone. But my awesome editor, Dane, in the Philippines, I just said to him, can you crank up the volume on that one? Bang, it sounds good. But excellent. I've had to do a couple over Skype. Dan Paff, who's in America, so I'll catch up with him in November and do one again in person, but I wanted to get him on for his abundance of value that he has to offer in human behaviour. And so I did a Skype interview with him while I was in Germany. He's in the States. And just, Skype quality is just not as good. But I listen to a lot of podcasts that are over Skype, and it's fine. You can take it in. And I listen to that one and I think that's so great, that information, but that sound quality is just not right there. That's what I pride myself on. So for everyone listening, don't not listen to that episode because the sound quality is not as good. It's still probably an 8 out of 10 as opposed to a 9.5 out of 10. So it's just, what it's like when you, like I said, the podcast to me is my product, and all I want to do is provide value. That's all. It's a free product. People don't have to pay to download the episode. I'm putting it out there for free, but I want it to be as valuable as possible. Sound quality is valuable, and
your guests are very valuable. What really breaks your heart is that you're trying to promote your guests, and if you've done a poor service by releasing something, I really go, the things that person said in that podcast that maybe people would switch off just because of my sound. Geez, it breaks my heart. Like so it's just something that I'm sure it stops a lot of podcasters too. Like I've seen many podcasters come and go over the last couple of years, and some of them just go, it just sounds awful all the time, and they don't get into some of the tech with it. And I think endurance is a cool thing to have with anything.
Well, one of the things that I did was invested into a podcasting community called Podcasters Paradise, and I used to get up every morning for 5 months, and I would just go through. They got hundreds of online webinars and courses and programs and things like that, and you just learn from the very first thing how to create and grow your podcast. And there's even things from law. There's things from, they recommend the sound quality, what you record into, how to do this, how to do that. So I just studied it to produce this valuable product. And one of the things was, that's why I got the 2 ATR 2100s, because affordable, but 8 out of 10 sound quality. I can pay an extra $400 or no, probably more than that, and get a 9 out of 10 sound quality. But I think what I've got for now, and I don't have the money to spend, and to just get in the game. Let's do it. Let's create it. So I think sound quality is actually probably an easy fix for people to do. So if they're producing podcasts with poor sound quality, change your equipment, invest in it. Think of the listeners. Don't think of yourself. Think of what the listening experience is.
So where did you say you're going now? Jumping on a plane
So from the Gold Coast, I got a bit of domestic travel, so back to Sydney and then Melbourne and then Perth for a few days with my sister, and then I go to Sweden for 5 months. So my gorgeous fiancée is from Sweden. She's lived in Australia for the last 3.5 years.
She sounds beautiful already.
She's beautiful.
From every Aussie bloke. She's Sweden, is she? I can almost picture how beautiful she is.
It doesn't matter where she's from. Her soul just resonates through her. She's an amazing, amazing person. We're so connected in every way that it's special. It's beyond special, and I'm so grateful for that. And part of the reason we're together is because our true core values are so similar in around family and friends, and I value my family and friends so highly, and so does she. So it's not fair that we're not investing our time into that one of her core values. So we're spending a chunk of time there. I'll learn the language. We're still, doing all the podcasting and creating our online business and building that. So our bigger visions are to be able to live we want to live in Australia, but still spend quality time, chunks of time in Sweden, not 5 months every year, maybe a month or two. Yep. And so to do that, why not earn money while we're in Sweden, earn money while we're in Australia? Why not earn money while we're flying between Australia and Sweden? And how do you do that? You provide value. So that's part of what we're doing with all that. So I'm off to Sweden and also I tell people it's around this family and values and spending quality time. And I hear Marie and she says, no, it's so Brett can learn the language. I want him to learn the language. And I don't disagree. I've learned basics, but we're going to have kids soon, and I don't want my kids to be able to speak behind my back in another language. I need to know the language better than they do.
My kids do. They just will.
Yeah.
I can just tell. Daddy, what? What?
So you don't know Japanese?
I do, but they're on another level.
Yeah.
There's a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old that know Japanese better than me, and they learnt in front of my very eyes. I think there's something to being old, being older, and you have to switch a switch to learn. I'm sure language. You have to actually decide. No, I'm listening.
Yeah, there's ways to learn. You learn how to learn, and that's what kids do. They learn how to learn, and then also you've got to make space to learn anything in your life. And you're a busy man, you're raising a family, things like that, and then you've got to learn a language somewhere in there. Whereas kids, they've got so much space, and so they have the time and the space in their lives to learn the language, to learn the skill. So it's not that as you get older you have less of a chance. It's just that you've got to make the choice to actually make space for it and then learn how to learn. Tim Ferriss is great. He teaches you how to learn a language, not just by learning what the words are and the sentence structure, but really how to learn a language, tricks and tips around that. And he speaks a lot of Japanese, actually. So you can learn from Tim Ferriss.
Podcasto. How do you say podcast in...
Oh, look, I don't even know, actually, in Swedish.
Swedish?
Yeah, they speak Swedish. Right. I can say to you, "Tjena hur är läget?" And that means, how you going?
Tjena hur är läget.
Yeah, that's
pretty
it.
easy to
that
say.
Was
that
good.
Rolls off the tongue.
Tjena hur är läget.
Tjena hur är läget. It's all snow there, right?
At the moment, it's the opposite because it's summer and they have long days. The sun will go down at 11:30 and come up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
But for the second half of the year while I'm there and over Christmas, it'll be the opposite. So we'll have about 3 or 4 hours of daylight during the day, and that's going to be challenging. But see, one of the things actually looking from...
How does that look? I would feel like there must be some depression in the air.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to get to. So I work with a functional medicine expert and a functional neurology expert, and I said that to him. I said, I want to enjoy my time there. I know that I'm a sun person. I don't want to lack vitamin D and go down this spiral. Even though I'm a very optimistic lover of life, I know what it does to your internals. And I said, teach me more about light therapy. And there's this red light, blue light therapy. So I'm investing into these lights, and you can just scan yourself and every day, and it triggers the same as what vitamin D does to you, and what that does at a physiological level, and it helps with your metabolism, your processes, your mental clarity, and everything. So there's no way that I'll let the weather make me depressed. And then you just got to utilise your elements, right? So her dad plays ice hockey, so I'm going to learn how to play ice hockey. Her mum does a lot of cross-country skiing, so I'm going to get out there and learn how to cross-country ski and just make the most of it.
Great. Red and blue light therapy.
What,
like a tanning bed?
You can think of it like a tanning bed, but the tanning beds had the wrong light, and that was actually really harmful for your body. But what they actually know now is there's different rays of light that are actually really good for your body, and there's a lot of technology. And think about the world that we live in. They can test this sort of stuff to no end. Yeah. And so the light therapy these days, it's so well documented and supported and positive that the things that they